So one of the differences in the process is, where do we begin with a vet? As an agent, what we ask for is their certificate of eligibility, so that we know that they qualify for a VA loan, and then we hand it over to our loan officers.
Which, that's the most important question that I ask any borrower that we sit down with is, do they have their certificate of eligibility, and have they been pre-approved? Have they sat down with a lender in the past, and if they haven't, then we go through the mortgage process.
Now, where did they get that certificate? If they don't have it, do we direct them to go for it, or do you have that conversation with them when you speak to them?
Well, there is a online service that they can go on to check for it, in addition to I think it's with their DD-214s,
Well,
Bridget, right?
if you go on the VA portal, they can go online and actually obtain it themselves. If they have an issue getting it, we can help them do it.
Okay.
But that's great that you're asking for it, because that's really the first step. The certificate of eligibility lets us know whether, in fact, they're eligible for it.
Right, because there's criteria that they have to meet for the process.
Absolutely.
Right.
We have the time limit. The VA has the time limits, and the period of service. So that will tell them if they are eligible, if they've met those requirements. So that's really important.
And I know one of the misconceptions is I've worked with one vet. When he gave me that certificate, he actually thought that was his loan.
He thought that they'd been approved through that.
Yes.
Right.
There's a big misconception that the certificate of eligibility is the actual loan.
Right.
When they still have to go through the mortgage process, which is
what they don't understand is that a bank gives them the financing, not the Veterans Administration. All that certificate of eligibility does is say, okay, you are eligible.
This is a benefit you're entitled to.
Right. Exactly.
And there's no risk to them or the seller, because they're going through the same process as any other buyer.
Right. They're being evaluated
Exactly.
for a mortgage. We look at paycheck stubs, W-2s. If they're self-employed, we're going to look at their tax returns. We're going to verify all that information. Their credit is run. The calculations that the Veterans Administration requires, their residual income, that's all taken care of. So they still have to go through the pre-approval process, right, Charlie?
Right.
And provide all of the documentation.
And I think this process also enables them to understand what they're actually going to purchase, and the commitment that they're going to have to make, and the responsibility, which when you're buying a home, it's a huge responsibility. So when we go through that pre-approval process, we're essentially enlightening them with the whole process and answering any of their questions and concerns, so to make them feel comfortable.
Right. Well, and it is an education process, so we feel the same way with any client. The more we educate them, the more comfortable they are in making a decision, and that's why we're here.